Donald Trump has apparently become obsessed with the idea that children who are either babies or teenagers love to play with dolls, and they usually get either $30 or $35 or $37, but in his opinion, they only need one or two dolls. And they also love pencils, and they usually get 250 pencils, but they don't need that many pencils. And they also get pushed around in strollers, but he can't remember the word strollers, so he just calls it the thing the baby gets pushed around in. And I don't know why you're laughing, because that makes a lot of sense to me. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. For years, Republicans have been clear about one thing. It is our solemn right as Americans to buy whatever the hell we want, but commie Marxist libs keep trying to take the right away from us.
First it was your gas stoves. Now the Biden administration targeting your washer.
First they want my stove, now they want my dishwasher. What's next? They're going to take away my iron next?
Your gas-powered leaf blowers? Sayonara.
What did I read today? They're going after showers?
The Biden administration launched what you've called a war on showers.
The shower is the most personal of our lives, and it's like, oh, now you're here in my shower? That's enough.
Unelected bureaucrats mandate which car people can buy.
You also should be able to buy gasoline-powered cars.
You can't mandate what people purchase.
She wants to ban plastic straws.
We're not going to tell you what to buy. We want to enable you to buy what you want to buy. That's that crazy freedom idea.
They're coming for your light bulbs.
That's right. They're coming for your light bulbs, and not just the ones in your lamps. They want the ones that appear over your head whenever you have an idea. And that's why all the ideas are bad now. Without light bulbs, people are like, is it a good idea to post an AI photo of me as a recently dead pope? If there was a light bulb over Trump's head when he had that idea, it would have exploded. The point is, we were promised we could buy whatever we want and that it would be anti-American. For libs to make us sacrifice by not buying certain cars or straws or light bulbs, only a crazy woke Marxist dictator would restrict our choices in the marketplace.
US President Donald Trump trying to downplay potential supply chain interruptions caused by his tariffs.
He told American consumers that their children may have to cut back on their dolls and maybe pay a bit more for those toys.
You know, somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally.
First of all, nothing exudes warmth more than calling them the children. Second, of course, Trump starts with kids who have $30, ignoring that maybe some kids only have one or two. Saying instead of $30, give them two isn't good advice for regular parents. It's good advice for Veruca Salt's parents. Veruca Salt, we all love Veruca Salt. She's a Spitfire. She wants it all, and she wants it now. I remember her dad came up to me once, little guy, bald guy. Tears streaming down his face, and he said, Mr. Trump, sir, they sent my daughter to the incinerator. And I said, well, on the bright side, you're going to save a fortune on dolls. And Augustus Gloop still in the pipe. Stuck in the pipe, it's so sad, it's water pressure. You know, the showers go drip, 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 the toilets don't flush. And Augustus Gloop is stuck in the pipe. They can't get him out of the pipe. Now, as a mere observer of politics, you might think most politicians would avoid saying, under my policies, the children will have fewer toys and the toys will be more expensive. But Trump has been doubling down on this talking point all weekend, even as the specifics in his hypothetical keep changing.
I don't think a beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have $30. I think they can have $3 or $4.
When you say they could have $3 instead of $30, are you saying Americans could see empty store shelves?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they don't need to have $30. They can have 3. They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
But you said even dolls could cost a couple bucks more.
Maybe they might, but you don't need to have, as I said, $35. You can have 2, 3, 4, and save a lot of money.
A young lady, a 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, a 15-year-old girl doesn't need $37. She can be very happy with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
10-year-old, 9-year-old, 15-year-old, it's way down the list of ways this dude is a psychopath. But who gives a list of ages that goes lower and then higher? 10, 9, 15? What the is wrong with you? None of this makes any sense at all. So could you at least just pick an age and an amount of dolls? It started as a baby who had $30. Now it's a 15-year-old who has $37. Soon it's going to be a 41-year-old man with $100, and he's going to make Eric Trump do a press conference. I thought I needed all my dolls, but my dad explained I only need 2. I don't know how I'm going to pick, though. Also, we have to go back to this.
They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
Well, I hope you're prepared to break that news to all the kids with 250 pencils. And what's that? I've just been told those kids don't exist. What? It's 2025, and this guy's plan for household savings is to cut back from 250 pencils a kid? What's next? Not every quill needs to be a fancy peacock feather. A pigeon feather works just as... Is there anywhere on Earth that even has 250 pencils? Oh, right, golf course. I already knew Trump never helped raise a child, but now I'm starting to think he's never even met a child. When his kids were born, he shook hands with them one time and said, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'll see you in 18 years. If you need to write me, here's a pencil, just the one. Make it last, just the one." This is all happening because he has a bizarre zero-sum view of trade. He thinks if we buy anything from anyone, anywhere, we lose. So now imports are drying up thanks to his wildly unpopular tariffs, and retailers are warning of shortages and empty shelves.
Bookings of container shipments from China to the U.S. are down nearly 50% compared to a year ago.
These shipping containers are not coming from China, or they're coming empty.
Carry goods between China and the U.S., it's down more than 60%.
Well, we're seeing the data. We're seeing the data coming out of China. And
that means, though, if people even want to buy it, it won't be there.
Sources tell us Target and Walmart have warned the president that consumers could soon be seeing empty shelves.
The CEOs are telling me, hit the pause button, right? I'm not going to import anymore at these kind of prices. And the retailers are telling me that realistically, with even the 10%, I'm going to have to pass it on to the consumers. This is important because now we're talking about spring and summer fashion. So we're kind of at a crux here that we've got to have something pretty quick.
And back to school, which is going to be, I think, very critical when it comes to political pushback for this administration.
Oh, God. Back to school supplies. That means... pencils. Well, joke's on you, Donald, because I've been playing the long game. I've been hoarding pencils since the show started. Look at all these beautiful pencils. And come fall, when the pencil supply dries up, I'm going to make bank selling them to kids on the streets. I'm just going to roll up next to middle schools in my windowless white van. And you know what? Sorry. As I'm saying, this is a terrible idea. I'm going to sell them online. That's just way safer. But pencils are not the only cherished baby items at risk in Trump's trade war. The price of a stroller is also up, to which Donald Trump says, who cares?
Some prices are going up. Tires, strollers, some clothing in the wake of your tariffs.
Excuse me, that's peanuts compared to energy. Energy is 60% of the cost.
But, sir, you
you
campaigned on a promise to bring prices down on day
Well, I don't know. When
one.
you say strollers are going up, what kind of a thing? I'm saying that gasoline is going down. Gasoline is thousands of times more important than a stroller.
Sure, I guess gasoline would be more important than strollers if babies could drive cars. It's an easy solution. Instead of strollers, we give the babies driver's licenses. How hard could it be to teach a baby to drive a car? Rudy Giuliani can do it, and he's basically the same size as a baby. He still has a fontanelle. Ooh. Maybe we'll get gasoline-powered strollers, or just strap a car seat to your lawnmower and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and your lawn get mowed, and bonus, you can't hear the baby crying. Now, you might be asking yourself, what could be more tone-deaf than saying the price of strollers doesn't matter? Well, there is an answer. Forgetting the word stroller altogether.
All costs are down. Everything is down, other than, as Tristan said, the thing that you carry the babies around in.
He can't even remember the word stroller. You know, the thing you carry the baby around. It's got pockets for all the stuff they need, dolls, pencils. The same party that has been lecturing us on the dangers of socialism every time we want something crazy like healthcare or a living wage or housing or an affordable education is now telling us we don't need material things anyway. The same people who said this.
Kamala is reportedly proposing communist price controls. She wants price controls, but it leads to food shortages, rationing, hunger, dramatically more inflation, like something straight out of Venezuela or the Soviet Union.
It's full socialism for sure. But the fact is that it leads to shortages. That's a pure socialist idea. And it leads to misery for citizens.
If you like bread lines, product shortages, black markets, hoarding, if you want to recreate the happy economic conditions of The Walking Dead, Kamala Harris has a plan for you.
She's not content with just the inflationary misery of the Carter era. Kamala wants the crippling shortages that went along with it. This will be a new nightmare if Comrade Kamala sets foot in the White House.
Oh my God, communism leads to shortages? So if we have shortages now, does that mean Donald Trump is a communist? Communist?
250 pencils.
So the right is suddenly preaching patience and frugality when a billionaire president surrounded by billionaire oligarchs and billionaire cabinet members is creating shortages and disrupting the supply chain. But when someone like Bernie Sanders introduces a bill to give everyone health care, suddenly they start issuing ominous warnings, again, about the free market and consumer choice.
Bernie Sanders wants to spend more. He's reintroducing his Medicare for All legislation for the 5th time. He wants to ban private insurance outright. No. So reduce your options out there. Americans hate that, right? You're going to give me fewer options in the marketplace and you want me to support you.
Now you're concerned about fewer options? Donald Trump is out there talking to us like we're living in the communist Russia he always warned us Democrats were going to bring about. His new policy for all the children, I call it $1, 2 pencils. Each child on her 10th birthday or 9th or 15th gets one doll. The doll's name is Bubby. She is sad doll. The pencil is not a number 2 pencil. It is number 9 pencil. The lead is weak. To write, you must push down hard on paper. But that reminds, life is hard. You can't expect to be pushed around all your life like a baby in the thing in which we push a baby around. It does not have a name, this thing. There is no name. Donald Trump, the guy with the golden penthouse who's currently running a $1 billion crypto grift in broad daylight, is preaching patience and frugality to working class Americans who are struggling to get by. But when we ask for something simple, like healthcare for all, we're told that's communism. The difference is people actually want healthcare. They don't want tariffs, which raise prices on everything from food to pencils to dolls to
The thing that you carry the babies around in.
stroller! This has been a closer look. You can have the closer look, but you
Can't have the mango.